Ever wonder what happens when big budgets and even bigger expectations crash and burn? And um, the 2010s were filled with cinematic risks, and not all of them paid off. From ambitious adaptations to franchise fatigue, some films just didn't connect with audiences. Let's take a look back at 20 movies that stumbled, examining what went wrong and the impact they had on the industry. Movie 43 arrived in 2013 as an anthology comedy boasting an all-star cast. Hugh Jackman, Kate Winslet, and Halle Berry all signed on, but the film's fragmented production, shot over several years, resulted in a chaotic and critically panned experience. It's a reminder that even the biggest names can't save a poorly constructed story. In 2010, M. Night Shyamalan took on Avatar: The Last Airbender. The live-action adaptation of the beloved animated series faced immediate criticism for casting choices and a perceived lack of faithfulness to the source material. While it introduced the world to a new audience, it failed to capture the magic of the original. There's a visual of this. There's a cat's prowl onto the screen in 2019. A visually bizarre adaptation of the long-running stage music, featuring a star-studded cast like Taylor Swift and Judi Dench. The film's digital fur technology proved more unsettling than captivating. An updated version with revised effects was even rushed to theaters, but it couldn't save the production. The Emoji Movie burst onto the scene in 2017, aiming for family-friendly fun with its smartphone-inspired adventure, starring T.J. Miller and Anna Faris. The film leaned heavily on recognizable app brands and emojis. However, critics and audiences alike found it lacking in substance. Air Fantastic 4 attempted a reboot in 2015, starring Miles Teller and Michael B. Jordan. But reports of extensive reshoots and a shortened runtime plagued the production. The film departed from the tone of previous entries and failed to resonate with audiences. Tom Cruise took on the role of Nick Morton in The Mummy in 2017, intending to launch Universal's Dark Universe, and then criticize a slightly capital by slightly boost. In 1840, the film remains a cautionary tale of ambitious shared universes. Dark Phoenix marked the conclusion of the Fox-era X-Men timeline in 2019. Reshoots altered the final act, and the film arrived just as Disney acquired Fox, changing the series' future. It effectively closed a chapter before a new one could begin. Michael Bay returned for Transformers: The Last Knight in 2017, adding mythology to the robot's origins. While it delivered large-scale action, the film led to a shift in the franchise strategy towards smaller-scale entries like Bumblebee. The Snowman adapted Joe Nespol's novel in 2017, starring Michael Fassbender and Rebecca Ferguson. Director Thomas Alfredson later revealed that parts of the script weren't fully filmed due to a tight schedule, leaving the film feeling incomplete. Jupiter Ascending arrived in 2015 as an original space opera from the Wachowskis, starring Mila Kunis and Channing Tatum. While visually ambitious, the film failed to connect with audiences and critics alike. Um, Johnny Depp starred in Mordecai in 2015, a taper comedy based on Charlie Mordecai novels. Despite the star power, the film failed to generate the hoped for franchise momentum. Arnold Schwarzenegger returned in Terminator Genesis in 2015, uh, attempting to reset the series timeline. While it performed well internationally, it faltered domestically and planned sequels were shelved. Um, Gods of Egypt arrived in 2016 with Gerard Butler and Nikolai Coster-Waldau leaning heavily on digital effects. And so they were talking about how I wanted to learn from making varied field casting choices. That um, the Happy Time Murders blended puppetry with an R-rated detective plot in 2018, starring Melissa McCarthy. The film became known for a legal dispute over a marketing tagline. The Dark Tower adapted Stephen King's epic series in 2017, starring Idris Elba and Matthew McConaughey. The film condensed a sprawling story into a brief runtime, disappointing fans of the books. Right? Um, Ava DuVernay directed A Wrinkle in Time in 2018, starring Storm Reed and Oprah Winfrey. Uh, Well, visually vibrant, the adaptation failed to fully capture the magic of the original novel. Will Smith led an ensemble cast in Collateral Beauty in 2016, a drama exploring themes of love, time, and death. And this certain mixed reviews, trusts, and of warring involved. And this certain kind of uh, Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales, arrived in 2017, bringing back Johnny Depp and introducing new characters. While it continued the franchise, it marked a later chapter in a series that began in 2003. And finally, The Book of Henry, starring Naomi Watts and Jaden Martell in 2017. Um, uh, a family story with a vigilante twist. Uh, it left audiences divided. So, which of these films did you see? And what would you add to the list? Let us know in the comments. And with that said, thanks for watching. And until next time.